Welcome back. This time we're talking about Sausage Party, the latest film from the depraved minds of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who gave us This Is the End and The Interview. This time they jump into the realm of animation and give us a Toy Story type tale involving food in a grocery store. Now going into this, I knew this was going to be a hard R-rated comedy. I knew with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg involved, this was going to be depraved. And I had seen the Red Band trailer, so I knew what I was getting myself into. Only I really wasn't. As much as I had prepared myself for just how vulgar, how disgusting, how offensive this movie was going to be, I was still utterly unprepared for what I encountered. And I have to say, it really is absolutely hilarious. Now this is definitely one of those movies that when you're laughing, you're going to feel bad about it at times. There's a bunch of jokes that you're going, whoa, can I laugh at that? And part of the fun is being in an audience and hearing that same kind of almost reluctant laughter at times. Like, okay, other people are laughing, I can laugh too. And let me say right up front, there's plenty of just cheap jokes, dirty jokes, toilet humor, a lot of toilet humor. But it all really works. I mean, they throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, and a lot of it sticks. And like their previous films, a lot of this has to do with good writing, a good story, and a bunch of actors who are friends of Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg who are willing to actually act out the things that these two write. In the case of Sausage Party, we have a massive voice cast that includes a lot of the people that you would expect from one of these movies. You got Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, Seth Rogen, Kristin Wiig, and a few others that I honestly wasn't expecting, like Edward Norton and Salma Hayek. And you can tell they have a lot of fun with just some downright nasty dialogue. Now, as far as the story, you have this food living in this grocery store, and they await to be chosen, and when they do, they leave the store and go into essentially heaven, where basically pretty much everyone wants to have a lot of sex, plain and simple. Our main character is Frank, voiced by Seth Rogen. He's a sausage, and his girlfriend is Brenda, a bun, voiced by Kristin Wiig. And obviously they want to get out of their packages and have some fun. But, and I don't want to spoil it, but there are things that happen in the early portion of this movie that sets the story in a radically different direction than what I was expecting. And what I will say is a lot of the action stays in the grocery store, which is actually ripe for some really funny and offensive humor as they move their way through a bunch of ethnic food aisles. They play on a lot of stereotypes. They subvert some of the stereotypes, but they also have fun with them. And that's where you get into that sort of nervous laughter in an audience. But frankly, it's funny. I'm sorry. And as I said, there's a bunch of sexual comedy in this. I'll just say, I don't think I'm ever going to hear the term food porn quite the same way anymore. And since this is an animated film, I do want to touch a little bit on the animation. And this movie was made for the cheap. Its budget was much less than our mainstream animation films that we get these days. And I have to say, this is not Pixar, it's not DreamWorks to be sure, but this also doesn't feel like a low-budget production. I mean, there was some time and energy put into making this look pretty good, with probably 800 F-bombs. I did not count, that's just an estimation. There's 90 minutes, and I figure they can probably fit that much in there, at the rate that they were going. So really, yeah, if you're easily offended, stay away. If you're moderately offended at things, probably want to stay away. If you're not offended by comedy that involves ethnic relations and sexual relations and food relations and toiletry products and a lot of other things that are pretty downright nasty, then I think you're going to have a lot of fun with this movie, because I know I did. This is a great comedy, and yes, it's downright stupid at times. But like This Is the End and the interview, there is, there's an intelligence behind that you can actually see every once in a while, and it just, there was a lot of thought that went into this seemingly thoughtless comedy. So yeah, very R. One of the most vulgar movies I have ever seen, hands down. But if you can handle it, go see it, because it's funny. So if you have seen Sausage Party, let me know what you thought. Was the humor too offensive, or were you able to roll with it? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some of my other reviews, and until next time, I'll see you at the movies.